So, getting a little closer. Got the bolt pattern in there and the positioning for the battery. That's the fire bolts there. That's how it'll sit. So that'll be the terminal side. This will be empty space. So just extra space. And from this lip here to another lip that's going to go on this plate, I'm going to weld the lip right to the plate, and then that will connect. The plate will get stuck right to that inverter, and then I'm going to weld nuts. Actually, I'm going to weld I will see, either nuts or bolts sticking up. Maybe easier that way, but there's lots of space down there, so I could go down with the bolts as well. And got the top cover bolts ready to go. That's also going to be the top cover for the inverter, and it's also going to be holding the charge controller. So this will also get a little angle put on it at the bottom of the charge controller to hide the wires. And I'm going to put two MC4s, a male and a female, on there, so you just plug right in to the plate and it'll be secured. And yeah, not gonna be no breakers or fuses on it or nothing like that. It'll just shut off when the battery switch shuts off, and I do have a battery switch for it. And or if the BMS shuts off, it'll also shut it all off too. But it's only gonna be one solar panel, so it's just gonna be a plug-in or whatever. I may put an inline fuse on the solar panel or something. We'll see. But I don't really think we need the switch or nothing for it. It's just such a small unit. But I gotta take measurements of this. There's gonna be a plate on there with the similar bolt pattern. And I'm also gonna have a plate on here with a similar bolt pattern. Well, with say 1, 2, 3, 5 bolts in there, something like that. Should do that. And I got some flat bar for, I'm gonna make like a little U, and then that will also hold the bolt like a big washer, and there'll be legs for it as well. So I got 2" by 3/16 material. So I'll put 2 strips, be 1" on either side of the bolt, and I'll just kind of go there. Might have it even stick out just a little bit further, maybe I don't know, 1/2 inch further or something. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll just keep it streamlined. But I kind of want the battery not to be resting right on the ground. And I am going to put a piece of that red stuff there. Cut a piece out that's the same size as the battery, plus this distance in here. So that'll be kind of insulated, just in case something comes loose and swivels, or I don't know, we'll see. And yeah, so it's pretty much where we are at with this box. I think it'd be pretty good, nice little system. About 1 kilowatt-hour, because the leaf cells are about 500 watt-hours rated. And I'll probably be taking this battery system pretty close to the max, probably 4.2, 4.19 volts per cell. I pretty much try and get as most out of them as possible. And yeah, we'll be pushing them to the limit anyways, because I think they're rated at 66 amp hours. And I'm going to be pushing 166 amps from them at peak, so that's 2,000 watts. So we'll see how it goes. Be a good little test setup. Anyways, guys, thanks.
That's at our productions.
plates cut. I had to go digging in the snow for them, but this one will go on here. I'll drill holes to match the other holes, and then this one will go on here. It'll be up a bit to keep that closed a bit. So this one will have a plate welded on in there to match that inverter side there. So something like that. Whatever. Yeah, and then I might put a strap or like a flat bar up here on each side, and then just have a tube that goes across so you can carry it. That's going to be the whole thing. Battery, 2000 watt inverter, charge controller. I guess it would be a 40 amp charge controller. So I got a 30 and a 40. But really, you could put almost 500 watts to it if you needed to. Charge in a couple hours. Right, good sun. And the inverter face will come out about here anyways with the plugs and a hard wire. Front tabs will weld on here. I'm gonna have to mark them and drill them. And I'll probably weld the nuts on the inside. So you just put the bolts in and tighten them down. You don't need to worry about reaching in there. Same with all these. These will all get the nuts welded on the inside, as with them. Yeah, this would be a little lighter than the last one, than like the 48 volt Nissan Leaf. I found it was just too heavy to carry around, and like we didn't even use half the power in it anyway, so like pretty much we shut everything down at night, except for maybe the fridge, and the fridge only runs, 5-6 times maybe in a night. It clicks on for 5 minutes. Like, it's really not that much, plus it's only a 50 watt fridge, so yeah, as long as you get a good charge. Not to mention I had 2 panels on the last one, where one will be much better for charging the small bank here. So anyways, yeah, thanks guys. I also have this stuff here. So this is gonna go about in here, just past the bolt. So it'll go 3 inches, and that will cover where the wires go. May put one on top. Not sure if I need it or not. But we'll see. I'm not even going to clean up any of that stuff over there. Would like to try and get rid of some of the burrs on these though. It's very hard to get in here with this angle, so I'll just leave all that the way it is, kind of. Maybe try and get some of the slag off of it. It is a flux core, so it does have a little bit of slag there. But it's all going to get painted white. I'll do the inside and outside paint. Yeah, nice guys. So I got all this stuff cut. This looks a little weird. Doesn't look like it's centered. But this one's a spare. So pretty much got everything placed out and cut. This will get welded onto here. These guys will become an eye with this one. Or an H, whichever you want to call it. These are going to be my legs, so this will get welded on to each side. Anyways, thanks guys. So I have quite a bit to do. Coming inside, it's too cold outside to do stuff. I'll do all the cutting and grinding outside, but all the hole punching and finishing up, I'll do either on the floor and the cement floor in there, or in here if I can. So I gotta put all the nuts and bolts through this, and then put the nut on there, tighten it up, and do that for all of them, and then weld the nuts on the inside to the box. So then I just put the bolts through and they're good to go. I'm going to use all these Honda hardware. It's good stuff. I have so much of it. I even got all the matching nuts, so it makes it proper. I got to punch and do this. Got the plate cut for there. So I might actually do the bolts on here first before I do that marking of that plate on the back. Then it's in place and I get an exact placement for the plate that's going to hold the inverter. Sorry. All these got to be drilled, marked and drilled. These got to be, well, I'm going to do mark and drill these two first. Mark and drill these two first. So one will get the top bolt pattern of the pack and one will get the bottom bolt pattern. And then I'll weld it like this. I'll get welded on there like that, and that'll be the holder for the pack. Plus there'll be a plate under it as well, so that will hold like the compression. But I'm also gonna weld some threaded rod on where the holes are. So then this just goes in as one unit that presses down, and the holes will go right through to underneath the box there, and then it'll get compressed, and then the legs, and actually then these things will get compressed underneath, but these will get legs put on it, which will hide the nuts and bolts what's sticking out down here, and that'll get like that. And so there'll be a bottom and a top of the pack as well, the cells, to match that bolt pattern. So, but I'm not going to put the eye between this one. There you go. And then this is for this back, for that thing there. This thing will get welded on here, which will be the back end of the inverter. And that gives me lots of room for wires to come around. It's offset too, so the BMS will sit on this side. I was even thinking about putting this through, like drilling a hole that's that big, and then I can put that through and bolt it in, but I'm not sure how much room I'd have between the inverter and here. So, I don't know, something. Because this thing's pretty cool, the switch. You can actually remove the key for it so you won't turn it up, you know? You can leave it so it's off, on, off, and then you can remove it as well. So, be a neat little safety feature. But, like, I don't know, whatever, say you got it in a tight spot in your trunk or something, you know, you pull that out so there's no chance of it getting turned on, because that's going to control the controller and the inverter. So, excuse me. Anyways, guys, thanks. So, another day, -20 outside again. But whatever, I do as much as I can inside, and so I'm a little bit off on the holes. Where I marked it black, I gotta open them a little bit. But it's okay, there's some play here, so. And this actually's gotta come in a little bit too. So, yeah, just little stuff. So I just use one of these guys here. It's called a deburr, but whatever. I use it for opening holes. I could drill the holes a bit bigger, but whatever. These nuts or the bolts have a washer built onto them anyways, or like a lip on it. So it's going to cover all that. Anything I take out will be covered by the washer anyways. So anyways, just showing you what I'm doing here. Thanks guys. So I already had an idea where this plate was going to go, but I didn't have a perfect measurement until I finished this plate, like where that plate's gonna go exactly. It is a little bit crooked, I can see. It's not as high over here as it is over here. Off very little. Might have been my cutting, could have been the holes, could be this at a square, so. But it's not really super important. So now I know I'm gonna do a line, but you can get an idea of where this is gonna go here. I'm 3 inches and 1/16 to the top. So I just make the going off the tops, and then this in here as close as possible to that side, which will, it is offset, so I'll have a couple inches of room on this side, well, above the battery. So the batteries will go right on the base, and there will be another plate over top of there, so they're totally separate from here, and there will be a gap between the bottom of the inverter and the batteries. So that'll just go in there and get welded in nicely, strong. Do little stitches, probably an inch on each end and an inch in the center, same as on the bottom. And then I'll get my hole placement, be able to mark the holes that match these holes for the inverter. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna hook it up yet. I'll probably, oh, there's also gonna be a battery breaker or a switch in here too. I think it's gonna go on the outside. And I'll just have the wires come through. I could put it on the outside right in the middle. And then I'll have, say, the positive input and the positive out of the breaker to the inverter. It's going to be a 2-gauge wire. So it's going to be a pretty beefy wire, which is okay. And then the negatives are going to have 6 12-gauge wires. I was going to do 10s, but it's fine. It's not, you could easily do, yeah, that's what I'm going to use here. Just this 12-gauge stuff here. It's just regular old wire for automotive. So it's only going to be like 12 volts anyways, but I'll use 6 of these. It's only going to be a short distance. It's probably only going to be 6 inches each side, let's say. And all 6 will have this on one end, and then all the rest will go into one 2-gauge lug or whatever will fit. Maybe 4, 2. We'll see what all 6 wires turn out to be. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Not really. I say the box is the hardest part of the whole thing here. Like, just having everything where you want it to fit. Should be good too when the fan kicks on. It should circulate well in there, and cool the batteries as well if they need it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be alright little build. Anyway, thanks guys. So I got this guy in here, and I got that plate welded on the back. So the holes will be there. I'm just going off this line right here. It's pretty close to where I want to be. Gives me lots of room back here, actually. May even be able to get this guy. I will be able to get this guy in there if I want to put it on the inside. Just have to make a hole big enough for that plastic piece to go around. I can bolt it in. The wires can go, some will go this way, I guess for the positive. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Because the positive is going to go to this switch, so it'll go positive to the switch, and then to the battery pack. The negative will go from the battery pack to the BMS over to here, so BMS is going to go inside there. I may make a little bracket to hold it right to the wall, and then you just kind of bolt the BMS in. We'll see. So that plug goes right in the middle, the balance lead, of course. But I can put a strap across here, if it's metal anyways. Metal strap there, and maybe have it, maybe it go around or something. Like, goes like that, and then one can come at the back this way, and I think 2 screws, bolts would be more than enough to hold it in there. Maybe I'll do 8 12 gauge wires, one on each side. And I'll sandwich them between that. So we get 8 12 gauge wires and do a 2 gauge lug. One that will fit on the negative post. I can take this plate off, wire it all, put the BMS in place, and then move this into place. And I do have enough room to get my hand in there to hold stuff, so we'll see. It's going pretty good though. I kind of like how it's going to be. Gives you access to a plug and a hardwire terminal. On off switch. Yeah. So I can now drill those 2 holes out. What else? BMS. Gonna drill those out and cut that one still a bit more. It's a little too long. I don't want it to go right to the back. I just want it to cover in case something falls on it. Yeah, it's coming along pretty good. Anyways, thanks guys. So this is my bracket that I was talking about. It is made to fit the holes. I just got it tacked. It's made to fit the holes here. Just has to be close, so. And there'll be another plate underneath that presses the full size. And yeah. I'll actually weld threaded rod to these and then plug weld the top of it, so then it sticks down and it'll go right through all the way underneath this, which will sandwich it to the case. And we'll also have these guys underneath as legs, so then the bolt can actually stick past, and I'll have the leg come down on each side, so have to weld that up too. And then I was even thinking I might put weld some nuts and bolts to it so then I can adjust the level of it. Just a little nicer when it's not rocking around if you got it on a flat surface. And then, yeah. So I'm gonna weld this up and grind it smooth. Now that I've tacked this side, I'll weld this side first. And just do a quick couple beads across there. Try and penetrate really well. Maybe I'll turn the wire feed down a bit and the heat up so I can go deep, but not a big weld. And then I'll grind that side smooth because that'll be the bottom. And then we'll figure out the threaded rod that goes through. And we'll go from there. Alright, thanks guys. Okay, so I got the threaded rod. This is what I'm going to use. It's about 5/16, I believe. And the batteries, a couple dead ones. So batteries are under 3. So I'm going to make my threaded rod about 4 inches. Because got about at least a 1/2 inch of material to pass through. So I think 4 would be plenty. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is just mark. I got a couple pieces here. Mark out 4 of them. And they will get welded on the inside of these. I've already drilled the holes out. And they're going to go down through. So then I just put this plate on top of the batteries and clamp it all right together. And it'll be screwed in from the bottom. I think that'll be good enough for support for the pack. Anyways, keep going. Thanks guys. Here's a quick look how I'm setting these up. So I just got it spaced. I just try and center it in there fairly well with the magnet on it's a 90-degree magnet. So, and I also use this edge here to line it up. So it lines it up pretty good. But yeah, I'm getting that. I've already beveled all the edges of the threaded rod, so, and they're all cut to 4 inches. Yeah, whatever. Best I can do. If it doesn't work, you just drill them out and start again. Anyways, thanks guys. So it is a little bit tight, so what I'm gonna do, I taped off the threads I don't want to get damaged, and I'm gonna grind these ones down to make it almost be like a shouldered or whatever, you know what I mean? Like a regular bolt that would be sized, something like this. I'll make it look kind of like that. And it will, because the threads are really binding up on stuff inside the cells. So this way it will give me some room. I taped them a little bit extra long, so if I do go into this up, 1/2 inch, it's not gonna make a difference. But yeah, I don't really want to cut them apart if I don't have to. If I do, I will, but try this first, and then we'll go from there. Thanks. So got the back plate cut out. These two are separate, but that's how it'll be on the top, or like on the top. And then those two, I'm gonna have to drill out the holes bigger. They'll get sandwiched on the bottom of the whole case. I gotta weld these tabs on the end still. I got this all drilled and cut out. I gotta make a box that covers, well, I gotta try and cover this whole area, I guess. But I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do it. Probably have the bolts on the sides, even just 1, 2 bolts the sides. Yeah, maybe I'll do 3, one in the middle, one on each side. So there's going to be an angle that is as thick as the Make Sky Blue controller. It go on top. And then I'll figure it out for the MC4 connections. I do have some old MC4 cables that came off of panels that were scrapped or whatever. May be able to just wire them into there and then just put like an electrical wire holder, like for a house for AC wire, and that will hold each MC4. Not sure what I want to do there yet. Or I could put the MC4 right through the angle and tighten up the back piece, the plastic, so it just squeezes. Yeah, not sure yet. I'll have to make a decision on that when I see how much room there is with the box. Anyways, thanks guys.